Alright, so you've seen what's in the box, and you've learned how to play. Now let's take Heroscape to the next level. This section is all about customization, magnetizing your tiles and terrain so you can create rock-solid boards. This section is all about customization, magnetizing your tiles and terrain so you can create rock-solid boards, swapping setup faster, and even use this terrain system for other tabletop games like Kill Team, Frosthaven, and Dungeons and Dragons. I'll show you step by step how to do it, what materials you need, and give you some ideas to make your battlefield look amazing. If you're a hobbyist, this is where the game really starts to feel like a long-term investment. And if you're not into modding yet, I think this might inspire you to start. So first, let's talk about why you'd want to customize Heroscape in the first place. Out of the box, the tiles are great. They click together nicely, and you can make stable boards. But if you ever had a game night where someone bumps the table and the map shifts, you know how annoying it can be. Magnetizing your tiles solve that problem. Once you do this mod, you can pick up an entire map section and move it around without pieces falling apart. It makes setup faster, gameplay smoother, and honestly, it just feels better. And here's the thing, this game isn't just a board game, it's the terrain system. Once you magnetize it, you can use these tiles for so many other tabletop games. Want to play Kill Team on a custom sci-fi map? Done. Want to run a Frosthaven or Dungeons and Dragons campaign with fully 3D terrain? Easy. This mod basically turns Heroscape into a universal terrain toolkit. For gamers who like versatility, this is one of the best upgrades you can make. It's like turning a great car into a high-performance machine. It's already fun, but now it's incredible. What game would you use this terrain on besides Heroscape? Let me know. I might feature some of your answers in the future video. Let's start with the materials. Here's what you'll need to magnetize your Heroscape tiles. Magnets, 3mm by 1mm or 4mm by 1mm. They work pretty good. Some flat washers, some sheet metal, real thin metal you can just glue to the bottom of the terrain hexes. Optionally, magnet sheet strips, great for large bases if you want to mount your maps permanently. A drill or hand punch if you want to recess magnets into terrain for a flush fit. You can get all this stuff from Amazon, your local hardware store, for under $30. That's less than a piece of single terrain set for most other games. I'd recommend buying in bulk because once you start magnetizing, you'll probably want to mod all your pieces, and trust me, this becomes addictive. Start by flipping your tiles upside down. You'll see they have small plastic support ridges underneath. That's where you'll attach the washers. You dab a super glue, press the washer in place, and that's it. The washer becomes the anchor point for the magnets later. The nice thing about this method is that it doesn't change how the tiles stack. You're just adding a thin piece of metal that's invisible during gameplay. Do this to all your tiles, single hexes, doubles, and larger pieces. It can take some time, but once you're done, you're done. You don't have to redo it. Now, I won't lie, this is a weekend project, but it's worth it. I like to set up a TV show or a podcast and just work through tiles and batches. It's relaxing, and when you're done, your maps feel like professional war game tables. Now let's add magnets to terrain pieces. This is where the fun starts. Most people stop at magnetizing tiles, but adding magnets to walls, obstacles, and buildings lets you create modular setups that snap into place. Imagine being able to place a castle wall and have it lock into your board instantly. If you're comfortable with a drill, you can make small recesses so the magnets fit flush in the plastic. Otherwise, just glue them to the outside. Once everything is painted, you won't even notice them. They have little kid magnet tiles that already have magnets in them. They snap together. They work great for this setup. This step isn't required, but if you like building dramatic boards for other games, it's a game changer. You'll spend less time fixing pieces mid-game and more time actually playing. Would you go all out and magnetize everything, or would you just stick to tiles? Let me know. Some people love going over with mods. Definitely me. Or others prefer a lighter touch. Once your washers and magnets are glued and dried, start stacking your tiles. You'll immediately feel the difference. Pieces click together with satisfying snaps, and you can actually lift scenarios of the map without worrying about them falling apart. Once all the washers and magnets are glued and dried, start stacking your tiles. You'll immediately feel the difference. Pieces click together with a satisfying snap. This does not only make setup faster, it lets you design modular boards ahead of time, build a section, magnetize it, store it on a shelf, and bring it out whenever you want. This is also a great if you travel to game nights. Instead of rebuilding a map every time, you can transport larger sections already assembled. Now, if you're a painter or terrain hobbyist, you can take this a little farther. A little dry brushing, weathering, they can make these tiles look realistic, rock, stone, or grass. The raised texture on Heroscape tiles is perfect for taking paint. Even a single pass of a lighter shade will make the details pop. And if you add stacking grass or flocking to the edges, your maps will start looking more miniature dioramas. The best part is that this doesn't interfere with gameplay because the tiles are plastic and durable, and you can customize them to your heart's content without worrying about wear and tear. This step is optional, but if you love immersive games like Frosthaven or Gloomhaven, imagine your dungeon maps in full 3D. Painting adds that extra wow factor. Here's where this mod becomes a game changer. Cross-game compatibility. Once you've magnetized your tiles, you can use them for almost any tabletop system. Want to run a sci-fi scrimmage game like Kill Team? Build a futuristic city with these tiles playing D&D. Make a castle siege map or a dungeon corridor layout. Even board games like Frosthaven or Gloomhaven benefit from 3D terrain because it draws the players into the story. Instead of buying separate terrain sets for every system, you can customize Heroscape to fit them all. This makes the initial investment even more valuable. For me, this is why I got Heroscape. It's more than just a game, it's a platform when you can combine magnetization, painting, and modular design. This one box can replace hundreds of dollars of terrain and give your table a wow factor. So that's the customization side of Heroscape. If you've ever modded a game before, this is a great place to start. It's simple, affordable, and that's the customization side of Heroscape. If you've never modded a game before, this is a great place to start. It's simple, affordable, and makes your set feel more like a premier piece of your gaming collection. The best part is none of this is permanent. You're not gluing tiles together. And if you're like me, once you start modding, you'll never stop. This is how you turn a great game into a lifelong hobby. Now I want to hear from you. If you could upgrade Heroscape any way you wanted, what would you add? Would you add magnetization? Would you paint every tile? Or would you go for the custom walls, trees, and castles? Drop your ideas in the comment. I'd love to feature some of your setups in future videos. Let's take a deep dive in another video.